Do you think cereal is a soup?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, I don't know if I would go so far as to say absolutely not.
Mm,
Like,
no.
what's the difference between chicken noodle soup and cinnamon toast crunch in a bowl?
So here's the thing. I do think cereal can become a soup, but at its premise, at its core, cereal is not a soup. A soup is soupy.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, right? Like, I understand the idea that you just don't want to say that cereal is a soup, which I agree with because I feel like cereal is not a soup, but you can't actually like break it down into any sort of rational argument why it is not.
Yeah, cereal at its core is meant to be eaten like with a not being soggy. As soon as it gets soggy, it's a soup.
I polled the audience about this, and everybody, including myself, overwhelmingly agrees with this. So the question was, do you think cereal is a soup? 90% of people said no. 10% said technically yes, but I just feel like it's not, which is where I would sit on the poll results as well. Like, I don't think that it is, but I don't have any sort of explanation for why it's not. I don't want to get into it, but kind of like the is a hot dog a sandwich? Yeah, it is, but I just don't feel like it is.
It is not.
Technically, yes, but in spirit, it is not.
That's another thing. Technically, no, it is not a sandwich.
Yes. Oh, do we not? Do we have to talk about how you say sandwich?
It's
Oh my god, I can hear my dog throwing up in the other room.
That's terrible and terrifying. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh yeah, I got to clean it up.
On your birthday,
I'm gonna have to
nonetheless.
clean it up.
Perfect
Oh, I
segue.
was wondering if you were gonna walk it in there. Okay, ask your question about my birthday. Let's hear it. So we're recording this on my birthday. John is very excited about it. I personally could care less about my birthday.
My question to you is, do you care less about birthdays as you get older? Or should we really care less about birthdays when we're younger and care more about them as we grow old?
No, I think that you should care much less about them as you get older because you kind of don't really want to acknowledge that it's your birthday and that you are getting older because your birthday no longer matches the way that you feel. Like, I'm in my 40s. I feel like I'm still a 20-year-old person. You have to care about your birthdays when you're young because that's like the most exciting day of your whole life. Like, your birthday, you look forward. Okay, when you were a little kid, what did you look forward to more, your birthday or Christmas?
Well, my father ruined Christmas at a very young age for me. So I'll say my birthday.
Oh, was it on Christmas when you walked in on him and your mother having sex?
Oh boy. Um,
Was it on Christmas?
no, it wasn't. I'll say my birthday because I usually had a birthday party and that was fun to get
Yeah,
together with
yeah.
friends.
You had a birthday party? I didn't get a birthday party.
I did. I'd say from like 7 to 12, I probably had birthday parties.
Wow. I never got a birthday party. That was like, no.
Well,
Like, hey, Dad, can I have a birthday party? It's like, you can have some presents here at the house. I'm not spending any more money on it. You think I'm going to take you to like Sky Zone or whatever to jump around on a trampoline? You're out of your damn mind.
Meemaw will be
You
here.
can go outside and play with a stick.
And sounds about right. I mean, our fathers aren't too far off, but my mother fortunately would plan something. I think
No, I guess my mother didn't.
probably not. Probably not. It's hard to love you. I think.
I could see that. Okay. All right.
Was that it?
Get your shout outs or whatever you're gonna do next.
I don't.
Wow me.
I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling good. You ever just wake up and you
Okay.
you just feel good?
Not anymore. I mean, not at my age, no. That's why I don't really want to think about my birthday very much because it's only gonna get
I
worse.
mean,
Your life, I would say, physically you are starting to go downhill probably after you're 27.
mm, oh, I did want to tell you. Remember a couple weeks ago you asked me when was the last time I had fully sprinted?
Yeah, okay, okay.
Well, I can confirm for you that I have fully sprinted within the last 3 days.
Any particular reason that I'm going to be interested in about?
No,
Or did you
nope,
just decide I'm gonna go run?
yeah,
Okay.
no. My daughter has been riding her bike and I've been running behind her, and
Hmm.
she told me she could beat me to a spot, and I sprinted as fast and hard as I could for about 3 seconds. I beat her, but I sprinted. So there you go. I told you wouldn't care.
Was it close or did you beat her by a good amount?
It wasn't really fair. It's kind of like how I would beat a buffalo from a standing start. By the time she got pedaling fast enough, I was already there.
Well, how far was the distance? Like, do you feel like you gave her an appropriate amount of time to see if she's actually faster on a bike than you are sprinting? Or did you specifically set the parameters so that she could not win?
Yeah. It was like I was running by her, and as I was running by her, I'm like, I'm gonna beat you to that truck up there. So, but
Mm,
I had a sprinter, she would have
okay.
beaten me. So,
Oh yeah, my sons have reached the age where I have to try. Like, oh, I got to put some effort into this, and I'm not going down this road with you turning in this is the dad podcast that you want to talk about how you play dolls or whatever it is that you do with your daughters.
it's a never mind. We're
Tea
the
party.
it doesn't matter. All right, shout outs. Let's see. Hope Herbert. I found that one in the weeds. I don't even know about her where
I
I
like the name. You
Hope.
don't hear a lot of hopes. I've known a hope and a faith.
Okay, what about a heaven?
No. Do you think that there are any twins out there named Deja and Vu?
Yes. There has to be, right? There has to
There
be.
has to be. If they're not, it's a huge missed opportunity.
Let's see. Simon Chaney, Lloyd Howard, Pauline Schaefer, Aaron Howell, Barry Sutton. I like a good Barry. I feel like there's not enough berries in the world.
Did you say Aaron Howell?
Yes.
Okay. I was good friends growing up with a kid named Aaron Howell. And every once in a while, I'll still hear from Aaron Howell.
Does Aaron Howell follow our social media channels?
I don't know. I don't know what Aaron Howell is doing. Like, are you in touch with most of your early childhood friends? Like the first friends that you ever had, are you still in touch with them? Still friends with them?
No. I have one friend from my childhood at all, actually, that I still, I mean, he's one of my best friends. You met him, and we still talk about the time that you convinced him to do a shot of Grand
Grand
Marnier.
Marnier.
That was the guy.
Ah, yes.
Yep.
Yes. Good. I'm glad that I could participate in ruining his day as well as yours.
Not,
Anytime that other people can have their times ruined is
not
fun.
only did you ruin his day, but he will not do random shots anymore because of you. So,
Well, that's his fault. He can buck up a little bit. Tell him to wipe his eyes and get back in the fight.
do you keep in contact with any of your childhood friends?
Only one person that I went to elementary and middle school with would I say that I am still in contact friends with. The rest are from high school. I don't go back any farther than high school, really.
Let's see. Do you care at all about the Oscars? I realized I do not, but if you did, we could talk.
No, I do not care. I don't know anything that happened. I'm just glad that that one guy who seemed like he was a jerk didn't win. The guy who was in Dune seems to think that he's better than everybody else in the whole world and he was going to win. And then he found out he didn't win because people don't like it when you act like a jackass.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I cared about. As long as that guy didn't win, Timothy something. Other than that, I could care less at all. Did not even cross my mind watching it. Did you watch it?
No, but I did look to see who won. I was happy that I thought Sinners was the best movie that I saw last year. And Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor. So I'm like, all right, good for him. He deserves it.
I I don't think that I not only did I not see or even thought of it watching any of those movies. I did watch K-pop Demon Hunters though. That was cool.
I mean, as it should have. It won like Best Animated Feature. So
Oh yeah, had to. It was a good movie.
great soundtrack too.
Okay.
All right. Well, did you know? I know you don't care, so just play along. That there is a new Ozzy Osbourne.
Isn't he dead?
He is, however, his son Jack and Jack's wife had a daughter over the weekend. or actually 10 days ago.
Oh, I thought you meant like there was going to be a new thing coming out. They just named their son. They named their son Ozzy.
No, they named their daughter Ozzy. Ozzy Matilda, which is a little strange to me that you would name a girl Ozzy, but once again, a lot of weird things out there.
I mean, that's all right. There's a lot that's worse. I'm not going to make fun of somebody who's going to be maybe grieving their loss of their parent and decided to name their child after it, like you are. Not going to be so crass as to do something like that. But if you want, that's the road that you want to go down, go for it, man.
Stand on that hill. Would you rather go? I don't know why I decided to input me into this question, but I figured it'd be funny.
Okay.
Would you rather? So, would you rather go to space by an aircraft that I built, or go to the bottom of the ocean in a submersible that I built?
Oh, probably space, because definitely the thing that you built could sink and kill me. But I think if we're trying to go to space and the thing that you built, it might not ever get off the ground. So that's the safer of the two options.
You're right. That's a great way to look at it, because you're going to sink regardless of whatever I build. The aircraft doesn't necessarily have to ever launch.
Right.
So.
Exactly. That's why I would think about it. So I think that's actually a pretty easy choice to make.
I want to talk about the weather. Just because I think everyone's talking about the weather. Everybody. About how
I don't think anybody is.
About how uncharacteristic the weather is in the Midwest right now. We had tornadoes in Michigan like 3 days into March. That's unheard of. Like an F3 tornado.
Dude. Yeah, it's climate change. We're all fucked. Like, this is how it's going to work now, right? And remember, when people get skeptical about it, right? Like, okay, but this is just the beginning. Just remember, this is just the beginning. And that's just a huge difficulty that we as human species have, is that we're not worried about a problem until it's really too late to fix it.
We don't talk politics here, but I feel like I have to say this because I was watching Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talk the other day, and I was like,
oh,
once again, for all of you out there, whether you lean right or left, like, can we all agree? Like, what the hell are we doing? Like, this guy is the head. Like, he's not our top doctor, but like he's leading like the health department of America. Like,
right. I think that what is happening in some cases is kind of like your love for Detroit, in that some people are supporting things simply because they're so crappy that they feel like they have to, right? Like, you love Detroit, even though it's one of the worst cities in America. And you won't listen to any Detroit slander because you just want to love Detroit. That's your thing. You got to push it forward. And so other people are going to like people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because he's so terrible and unqualified that they're just going to be like, no, he's not. I love him even more now. You don't like him, therefore I love him. You don't think he's completely qualified in any way, therefore I think he's the perfect person, right? It's like you in Detroit.
I will say
is
this
it
about
statistically
Detroit.
by any category a good city? No. But you love it more for that.
So they released the population updates or whatever, and I was shocked that Detroit, I think, fell to 26th. That's not even a major city. Like, it isn't.
Oh yeah, everybody already knew this. Everybody else already knew it.
Hold on, before you like make fun of me, I was going to give you a little credit because I think Seattle is like 8th or 9th. Like, well done. Well done.
Oh, yes. You can make an argument, and some people have. You can make an argument that Seattle is the 4th major city in the United
States. That's absurd. That's nowhere near accurate. I would say, see, now you're getting me hot. I would say
go ahead and get hot, because I'm not bringing opinions. I'm not bringing opinions. I just bring facts.
No,
you just go ahead and say what you think, and I'll tell you what I know.
You just gave an opinion. Why would you think okay? Let me ask you, before we even go down this path. You don't actually think Seattle is like the 4th largest city in America, right?
Not the 4th largest, the 4th major. There's a difference.
Sure. But yeah, fine. 4th major. You can't possibly believe that.
I think that you can make an argument for it because you can look at these, economic output, Amazon, Microsoft, major companies, you have a major port, and it's on the coasts. So what other city are you going to say, no, that's the fourth major city in the United States?
Okay. So let's get this out of the way here. So Chicago, New York, LA, right? Three biggest,
Yeah,
right?
that's the easy three. Now, I think though where you get debate about it is what's the fourth, and you could put a number of different cities in there as what's the fourth major city in the United States.
I mean, I would say, you know, Miami, Phoenix, Dallas, Houston.
But they don't have the economic drive that Seattle does.
I don't know. I don't know about
They're
that.
not culturally well. Okay, so what has been from an economic and a cultural standpoint more influential than Amazon or computers?
First off, you're forgetting the reason why people even care about Seattle.
What's that?
Starbucks.
Again, there you go. So think about the cultural impact of cities on the United States over the last, let's say, 30 to 40 years.
No.
What's going to be bigger than coffee, Amazon, and computers? If you really like think about this and start to break it down, I would actually make it the true. If I was arguing this with somebody in a legitimate fashion, I would say San Francisco is probably the fourth major city in the United States.
I mean, I would probably say Miami.
But you can't say Miami because it doesn't have like the cultural or the economic input that a place like Seattle or San Francisco does. There's no major big companies coming out of Miami in the same way that you have coming out of the San Francisco and the Seattle area.
Hold on. Let's
Not
see.
recently.
Let's see.
Go ahead and Google it. I'm sorry, I come prepared with facts. You come prepared with opinions based on cookies or whatever it is.
Just so you know, cookies are fantastic.
I do love cookies.
Burger King is in Miami. You're welcome.
Okay, so that is not another new company in the last 30 or 40 years. That is not changing the cultural conversation of the United States.
I don't.
You can't argue. You have can you just admit that you have absolutely no facts?
I haven't done the research on this. I can tell you, there's three companies, and yes, they are major companies, but I would not say Seattle is the fourth largest or most influential area in the country. I just wouldn't.
Then name me the one that's bigger.
I mean, you said it yourself. I'd have to look at San Francisco and see what they're, San Diego, like.
Can we get somebody in here who knows what they're talking about? You probably don't even know. You probably don't even know where San Diego is. San Diego.
Are you saying that?
Oh, is Grand Rapids big? Is Grand Rapids a big deal?
Oh boy. Yeah, here we go. Anyways, well,
see, this is what I mean, though. But you have such a love of Detroit that you're going to defend Detroit without actually taking an objective look at the fact that Seattle is in the conversation being the fourth major city in the United States.
No, I said it. I think you can look at it. I also said this whole conversation started because I said I was shocked that Detroit had fallen so far in population.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows, right? Like, everybody knows this.
No.
Maybe it'll come back someday. You know what we can all agree on?
What's that?
You're not a champion. Right? There's another reason that Seattle is a culturally relevant city. Winning sports championships, which is something that Seattle does, makes it relevant.
Technically, we're all champions, okay? We beat Canada, okay?
First of all, it's Canada.
Yeah.
Say Canadian. I don't pay any attention to that. Like, you know my theory about like beating other countries in sports. Like, we should. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we should.
Yeah, I mean, we should. We don't. Often. No,
okay.
I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say Houston is my number 4. But we'll end it there. So,
I think that there's cities that you can have in that conversation. Seattle, San Francisco, Houston, Dallas, Boston, Philadelphia. I think you could have some sort of conversation around those cities being the fourth major city in the United States.
I mean, let's put Baltimore on there. DC.
Baltimore's not. DC's not.
I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, DC, really, if you take DC out, that's kind of really cheating.
I'm kidding. Those are all old school cities for the most part. Like,
Oh yeah, man. The news on everybody's on the new on the come up, right?
All right. That took up way too much time. So I'm just trying. I had a couple of questions, but I'm trying to figure out which one you may actually care about. Um, what do you think of electric bicycles?
I'm against electric bicycles, but I love electric scooters. I think my electric scooter, which I love so much that I bought another one, and I'm possibly going to buy two more electric scooters for a total of four electric scooters in one household. I think it's the greatest mode of transportation that I've ever been a part of. I cannot speak highly of the electric scooters. It is all the convenience of a car with all the convenience of walking, because I can hop on my electric scooter and I can ride it right up on the sidewalk. I can ride it in the street. I can ride it right into the grand grocery store. I live a 10-minute walk round trip from a grocery store, and I can be to the grocery store and back on my electric scooter in 3 minutes and 47 seconds with a purchase. 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Ask me other things about my electric scooter and how amazing it is and how quickly that I can move around. It's the greatest form of transportation we've ever invented. Now, an electric scooter, I would argue, is better than an electric bike because it makes you feel a little bit cooler, right? Like you're doing something a little bit more adventurous. You're not just sitting down on this bicycle, but an electric bike would probably be your number two. I think they're fantastic. I think that's the way we all should be traveling.
Okay. The only thing I got out of that was you no longer reserve the right to ever make fun of me about anything old man wise.
What's old man about an electric scooter?
Everything.
Do you know what an electric scooter is? You're thinking of a hover round. That's not an electric scooter.
No.
I'm just talking about a scooter where I'm standing up on that bad boy.
I'm not hating on electric scooters, Vespas, anything like that. But for you to say that when all you do is make fun of me for my old man tendencies, I feel like that's
not an old man tendency. Like you're so far out of the you're so old that you don't even know what's cool and hip now.
Yeah,
you don't even know that the things have come back around. Everybody's got an electric scooter. It's the greatest mode of transportation ever.
Well, don't
besmirch it.
I'm gonna be in the market, so maybe I'll look at one.
Oh, you gonna buy one? Well, let me know because I'll tell you all the positives and negatives. Well, you think you know about candles? Well, wait till you see how much I know about electric scooters. Which
we'll see. I definitely am. Yeah, we'll see. All right.
You should get one. Sell the car and get one. Sell both cars. Just take the whole family around on an electric scooter in a wagon. You can just tie a wagon to the back. You got all your stuff, man.
I just bought a van, so I don't think I'm going to be selling that. But my lease is up in a month, so I'm thinking about maybe I'm considering it. Maybe we'll see. I'll let you know.
You should do it. You should do it. You probably now listen. I don't know if you're man enough for an electric scooter. You're probably going to have to get a bike.
I don't know.
I can't handle standing up and doing this. It's not safe for me.
I went to REI.
I didn't even wear a helmet
to look at bikes, and I was like, "Yeah, REI is not the place I should have went to for bikes." Fucking.
Oh, but that's okay. So listen, yeah, but sometimes you buy something that's worth it. I will say this: I bought an expensive mountain bike after having cheap $100 Huffies my entire life. An expensive mountain bike is not a bike; it's a machine. There's a difference. There's a massive difference between an expensive mountain bike and a $100 mountain bike.
I don't need a mountain bike. I just want a bike to get around town. Right? I need a city bike. I don't need a mountain bike.
Get you an electric scooter, man. Mine was $499. I love that thing. I put 400 miles on it over the summer.
Jesus. Okay.
I love it. You ride it around. It's transportation. It's fun. It's everything.
God, you need to take a selfie on that thing and send it to me, please.
I can't because there's no camera that can capture how fast that I'm going.
Okay, that's fantastic.
I floor that sucker going down a hill, take a turn full speed, not even a blink in an eye.
I bet you do, all at 8 miles an hour.
First of all, I've gotten it up to 37.
What?
Okay. I love my electric scooter, man. It's amazing.
Say
it's the greatest thing. It's honestly the best purchase I've ever had.
Say that thing's fully charged up and you're cruising. What's top speed? 40?
Top speed is top speed is 25.
Okay.
But if you're going down a hill, you can get that sucker up to 37. I've clocked it on 37 on my app.
You have an app?
Oh yeah, why wouldn't I have an app?
I mean,
Yeah, because you can change it. You have to actually you can use the app because you can adjust and put on cruise control.
look,
And I went on a long ride. Family and I, we went all the way downtown, 7 miles.
Miles, long ride.
Put that sucker, because Seattle again, probably in the top argument for the fourth major city in the United States, has a very well built infrastructure for Seattle for bicycles and scooters, and I can take it pretty much anywhere. I can get around faster on my electric scooter than you can get around in a car.
I just picture.
Not even a race. Not even a race. My wife has dropped off the kids. I've met them there at like various functions. You want to race me back home? Nope, you don't, because I'm going to dust you by about 5 minutes. Gone.
Right, let's just move on.
Do you want to know the names of my electric scooters?
Of course you name them. I don't know. I can't get my camera to focus on my face because I'm laughing so hard.
So we have one that is named Speedy Gonzales. It's the accelerated model. Doesn't have shocks. I would get shocks if you get an electric scooter. I would make sure they have some sort of suspension on them. It can be a little bit of a bumpy ride at times. That one is named Speedy Gonzales. And then I have one that does have a suspension named Billy Powell. You probably don't. Do you know who Billy Powell is?
I don't know. Do you want to explain to the class who Billy Powell is?
He is the pianist for Leonard Skinner. It's amazing.
What?
I love it. I love it.
Why?
You can't keep me from my electric scooter.
If
I had a choice between one of my children and my electric scooters, I would obviously choose my children, but I think I'd miss that electric scooter.
You big Skinner fan over there?
Well, I'm a big fan of indulging in certain things that Washington legally allows and listening to Leonard Skinner. Yeah. And so are my two sons. We sit there and watch Leonard Skinner, so we decided to name the scooter Billy Powell.
Okay. All right. Billy Powell. Perfect, man.
We're going to get a third one. It's going to be named Appa off of Avatar.
I also don't know what that is or who that is.
You're not a man of culture. You're not a man of culture. If you were a man of culture who is a worldly man, you would know that, one, Seattle is probably a front runner for fourth major city in the United States. And you would know about things like Appa.
Yeah, man. God bless Billy Powell and Oprah, whatever her name is.
Appa.
Thank you. I needed that laugh. That was, oh man. I hope everyone.
Oh, you laugh, but I'm over there just putting them up. You're picking them up and putting them down.
You're just cruising at 12 miles an hour, getting to downtown.
Right. They won't even let me. You know what? They won't even let me drive on certain cities. They won't even let me go down certain streets. Because if I do, all the women on that street end up pregnant just from seeing me. And they're like, sir, you can't go down this street anymore.
Yeah.
Because when we see you, we just instantly pregnant.
I definitely could see that happening. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. It's so fun. I love it. Oh. Get you an electric scooter, man. Once you do it, you can't go back.
All right, I'll let you know. Maybe I'll nickname mine Johnny VinZant.
Okay. I think you can come up with something better than that.
I will.
You'll get
there. I will. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about sandwiches.
Oh, you ready? Wait, say it again.
Sandwich.
Yeah.
Sandwich.
Do you want to talk sandwich? Let's talk about sandwiches, not golf clubs.
That sounds fair.
So our top 5 is top 5 sandwiches. Sandwich. It's your number 5. Sandwich.
I do hate you. My number 5 is the Reuben.
Okay. All right. I mean, I guess I'm not going to order it, but I won't. It's not a top 5 worthy sandwich in any way.
It's classic.
It's not.
If you were to put the most classic sandwiches on a board, it's on there, and it's delicious.
Yeah, I mean, it's on there. On the other board, that's not classic sandwiches. There's like the classic sandwiches board, and then there's other sandwiches. It's not on the classics. The Reuben? No, it's not. Nobody has corned beef just sitting around. I like it. It's good, but it's not like a classic sandwich.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is the club sandwich.
Okay.
Club sandwich, I think, is the most classic basic sandwich.
It definitely like if this was pop culture, it definitely would be like the basic, the basic B, right? Like that's definitely what it would be.
Yep. Get you a club sandwich. Like, okay, sounds good. Nobody's going to have a problem with you getting a club sandwich if you have to go and get sandwiches. Everybody's going to be like, well, did you get some clubs? Like, oh, I'll take the club sandwich. Yeah.
So that's on my honorable mention because I actually put this in there as my number 4 instead of that because I felt that this is the most basic sandwich and it's just bologna and cheese.
Oh, I don't know if I've honestly ever had a bologna sandwich.
That's how you know you're not poor, right there.
Oh, no, I've just had other cheap meats. I've just never had specifically bologna.
I will say I was in college when somebody showed me that fried bologna is so much better than actual bologna. But
I would just eat plain bread. Like when I was low down in college, I would just eat like bread sandwich. I'm not even messing with the bologna. Like I don't really want bologna.
it's
Maybe a taste preference for mine. Mustard sandwich. A little
no.
bit of mustard.
Yeah. What's your number
Pieces of
4?
bread and mustard. I actually don't have anything in number 4. I left 4 blank.
How? There's a million, there's all kinds of opportunities
There
there.
wasn't anything that I was really sold on. There wasn't anything that I felt like a number 4 that just fit a number 4. And I'm not just going to pick anything willy nilly. I treat these top 5 lists with the utmost respect.
That's
And
fair.
if I don't have a good answer, I'm not going to give you one. I'm not just going to throw something in there like a Reuben.
Reubens are delicious. You said so yourself.
Oh, they're good. I'm not going to go so far as to say they're delicious. I'm going to say that was good.
All right.
I'm not going
Well,
to say that was delicious. I guess I would probably put a BLT in there, honestly.
okay. That was my other honorable mention was a BLT. It's good. It's fine. It's too basic. Like not enough.
I'm sorry you don't like the simple things. Such a snob.
My number 3 is I put Philly cheesesteak, but really like any kind of cheesesteak sandwich. It's delicious.
Okay. I felt like Philly cheesesteak would make the list at some point. I think it's a little bit of a default, like people just put it in there because like, oh, I've heard of a Philly cheesesteak, throw that in there. But I don't think that I think people talk up the Philly cheesesteak more than they like the Philly cheesesteak.
I don't know, man. I tell you what.
My number 3 is a Cuban.
Okay, Cuban, Reuben, like they're all the same to me.
They're not the same.
They are not
See,
the
the
same,
fact that
but
you're putting those, the fact that you're putting them the same, it makes me question your sandwich knowledge. It makes me question if you're a true foodie. I don't think you are. Poser.
well, number 1 I think is unanimous, but my number 2 is what's gonna set me apart from you.
Okay.
My number 2 is any kind of cold cut sandwich.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue with it necessarily. I think that the club sandwich kind of sums up that position and that you don't have to go into specifics. I think the club sandwich I would rather have than any kind of cold cut. Like, do you want turkey? Do you want ham? Do you want roast beef? Why not put it all together in the club sandwich?
Man, give me some of those Italian meats like prosciutto, salami. Oh, tell you what.
My number 2 is a grilled cheese.
Okay, I left off of grilled cheese. I don't actually like grilled cheese sandwiches.
Oh, you don't like America.
Don't know what that has to do with anything. America's
What?
fine.
Everything. Grilled cheese.
Yeah,
America.
I don't. If I'm gonna like, I've always thought if I'm gonna do that, like, I need to add bacon or I need to add like a chicken breast. Like, I just can't eat just cheese and bread.
Always trying. You're always trying to do too much. You don't enjoy the simple things in life enough, right?
Yeah.
This is the same problem that you're talking about when we had the discussion about the scooter. You want to have this fancy car with all these little doodads. Not me, man. I just want something to be free.
Never said that.
I just want to hop on my little thing and go. You want all these things. You want somebody to wipe your little baby bottom.
Never
You want
said
all the
that.
bells and whistles. Not me, man. I just need 2 wheels, little motor, and I'm good to go. I'm a simple man.
Yeah, there you go. That's a nice reference. I'm just a simple man. Skinner would be proud.
What's that? Oh, that is a Leonard Skinner. Like, I'm just a simple man.
Jesus, you have to
I just
ask
like
if
what I
that's
like.
Skinner? Of
I just want to make sure you knew.
course I know. All right.
Probably like it's not indie pop.
Our number
Actually,
one
I
is
think I know.
unanimous, right?
Maybe. I don't know what you're gonna pick.
It's yeah.
Prosciutto on rye, probably something
No.
snobby.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly is the best
Yeah.
sandwich.
Though I will say, I think you could make an argument, though they weren't on my top 5, but if you were going classic, most well-known sandwiches, BLT and grilled cheese, I think you could probably put it number 1. They're not the best, but for like being known.
I don't think so. I think the peanut butter. I think peanut butter and jelly is the most well-known sandwich. Then grilled cheese, then BLT. Actually, no. If you're talking about the most well-known sandwiches, I would say peanut butter and jelly, grilled cheese, club, and BLT would be pretty close. I think. I don't think you can count like ham and turkey and stuff like that. Like that's too simple. I think it's the sandwich itself.
I think you're not giving BLT enough credit in that regards, but that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I think it would be close between the BLT and the club.
It would be probably, but I feel like BLT edges it. I think club's not as popular as we think, but what do I know? I left it off my list.
That's why you got to be a simpler man. You try to complicate everything too much. Just enjoy the simple things in life. Just enjoy the simple things. Take it easy.
That's what I'm trying to do, man. Just take her easy.
You're fighting in traffic with your brand new minivan that you got, and I'm just cruising along on my scooter. Just passing you right by while you sit in traffic, just getting angry, honk, honk, honk. And there you see me just flowing by.
Hey, Dad, can you put it in the 5th gear? We're already in 8th gear. We're going 17 miles an hour.
Scooters don't have gears.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's electric, I guess. Yes.
You don't have to get there fast when you're just enjoying the ride. That's what you're missing out on.
You know what? That is a quote I'm going to live by from now on. You don't have to get there
Don't
fast.
go fast. Just enjoy the ride.
Just enjoy the ride.
Do you have anything in your honorable mention? Probably some snob crap.
No, I mean, I mentioned 2 of them already, and then I just put on like a chicken sandwich, really, but like chicken, avocado, bacon, chipotle mayo.
Does everybody up there say sandwich like you say it? Or is it a you thing or is it the geography thing?
I am sure that I am probably weird, but I also don't know because I don't talk to people about sandwiches a lot. So
it's not about talking, John. It's about listening.
Hey, man, it's not.
God, I'm just dropping dropping life advice on you.
You're
trying to make fun of me about my scooter. I love my scooter.
No,
it's because I'm older and wiser. I'm older and wiser today.